So this is going to be a very difficult video for a lot of guys to truly understand. And that is that good girls aren't always good girls. Okay? And there's different ways you could formulate that sentence to be a little bit more exact. Innocent girls aren't always good. Good girls aren't always innocent. There's a lot of angles here. Okay? But the gist of it is that this idea that, oh, I'm going to find a girl who is an 18-year-old virgin. She hasn't been spoiled by the world. This is a fallacy that even kings and emperors and great men, who really they aren't that great, killed a lot of people, did a lot of horrible things, are probably still burning in hell for it, right? They were wrong. And guys these days are still wrong. Because what happens is you see one extreme, okay? The whore, the slut, the seductress, the manipulator, the tease, whatever, right? And then you get burned. And you go, okay, this bad, this good. And you go to the extreme. But the problem when you go to the extreme is you create an unreal, unachievable thing. Now, to really understand this deep down, you have to do a lot of meditation and understand like the nature of the mind, and that, to truly get rid of like greed and hatred, which are the roots of like all of the bad shit happening. It's a lot of work. Okay. And even the most devout, celibate woman will still fail to achieve this, right? Because in some future life, that greed and anger is eventually going to reemerge, right? It was kind of suppressed for a certain amount of time, but it's going to reemerge until it's cut off completely, right? But this is not a video on Buddhism. This is just a video on, you think good girls are good, you're wrong. However, there are women who are good, but do not believe that they are subject to the identity of a good girl. Now, if I'm in a casual conversation with a guy and I'm like, yeah, you need to go after good girls. Okay, there's an understanding of what that means, right? She's a cool chick that's going to be loyal, isn't going to lie to you, isn't going to fuck you over. For the most part, there's always that risk, right? Because until you've totally eliminated greed and hatred from the heart, there's always a little bit of a risk, right? Or until you've seen the path to eliminating it, I should say, that there's always a little bit of a risk. Just because a girl is a virgin does not mean that she is a good girl. Every slut was once a virgin. It's kind of simple, right? But it's fucking profound. I remember when it first hit me, I was like, wait a second. That's fucking good. Every slut was once a virgin. And of course, all the men in history, they're, the fucking, I don't care who it was. They had all their girls, and then they would cut some dude's balls off, and maybe his dick too. And he would be in charge of guarding, like, the fucking sanctum with all of his wives, right? And they thought, this is the way. This is, keep them, keep her locked up, keep her away, keep her uncorrupted, okay? It's too extreme. If you've ever known anyone who was a little bit sheltered when growing up and seen what happens when they finally get the chance to let loose, okay, you know that this phenomenon is not great. But I'm not advocating the other extreme either. Here's where the nuance comes in. I'm not advocating that it doesn't matter who you date, what's going to happen is going to happen. That's wrong too. That's what people fall into extremes all the time. And this is what, people on the other end of the spectrum of belief of like good girls versus, it's like, oh, her past doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, she has a bunch of tattoos, she does drugs, she drinks a lot, she's cheated in the past, but she's changed. No, that's not right either. Now, everyone has a chance at redemption. I will leave that open, right? But You should totally judge someone by their past, like a lot, you know? Yeah, you should really strongly judge people by their past. But don't believe that just because she doesn't have a past doesn't mean that she won't decide to have one later on. Just because you find a girl who hasn't been, defiled by the world and exposed to the world, just because she's young, she's just 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever. Well, Eastern European girls, they're virgins until they're 21, 22. Like that's going to fucking change anything. I've seen Eastern European girls slut it up too. Okay. Oh, Western women. These guys are clueless. Okay. But I understand why. Because they haven't seen it. They haven't gone and tested these things. Okay. But what I can tell you from personal experience, just because a girl's a virgin, and even in a decent, society that isn't polluted by Western values or corrupted, right? She can get her taste of cock and want to try more. And be curious and be hungry. Okay? That's why I think it's actually a bit difficult to judge a girl before she's had a partner. Before she's even had a couple partners. And it's pretty hard to judge a girl until she's reached a certain age. Now, that exact age and that exact partner count is it's hard to. I'm not saying you can't go after a virgin. I'm not saying that, right? I'm just saying you can't make the judgment. You can't make that judgment, right? There's tons of people who still, even in this day, try to. I remember Steven Crowder, right? He's a conservative pundit. And he was all about the fact that he waited until marriage with his wife. They both were virgins until each other. Well, they got divorced. Okay, so that worked out. Nothing is for sure, my friend. If you're looking for a for sure, I want to be 100% sure that a girl will never cheat on me and that she'll always be loyal. Good luck. Nope, wrong. Go be a monk. Okay? But go be a monk because you're pursuing something higher. Don't be like someone who is going to leave a comment because Jesus Christ, they're so annoying. I'm just rather be single and I'm happier single. If you were happier single, you wouldn't be commenting on a fucking video about it. Okay? You would just be happy. But the fact that you're clicking on dating videos and leaving comments, it's like a single woman who's like in her 40s and she's like, I'm so happy I didn't have kids. And she posts all about it and talks about it all the time. Doth protest too much. You're too vocal about it and there's something off about it. Okay? So, back to my original point. Here's my straight shoot of it. Generally, just as a soft, estimate, a girl needs to be 25 or older for you to really get a sense of whether she's decided to, slut it up or not. And I'm not making judgments about a girl if she sluts. I'm just making an estimated, or let's say an educated decision, a well-informed decision. That usually X and Y traits, promiscuity, drinking, tend to lead the girl to not be the most loyal of partners. Not saying they can't be, maybe in some cases, but you're taking a risk with that dice roll, my friend. Okay? Because the evidence is pretty clear. It's just like you have a friend who you love, but he's really bad with money. You're not going to make him your CFO of your company. You're not going to put him in charge of big financial decisions. Hey, man, I really think I would. No, you're bad with money. It's not your role. Okay? So, just like a girl judges fuckboys. Okay? I've been the brunt of it, and I accepted it. Even though it hurt sometimes. Girls thought I was a fuckboy, and maybe I was. I think their definition was off, right? Because I actually was open to something long-term, but I was kind of portraying myself in the wrong way, right? If I wanted, you have to find that, it's hard to find that fine line. That's what was such a difficult skill for me to learn. Like, how do I be a lover, but like a guy who gets fast sex, but not be presented as just a one-night stand? That was a large part of my journey of how to be a seducer. Right? How to be the best of both worlds. And I found a pretty decent balance, right? But even in some cases, a girl would perceive me in the wrong way. So this isn't just about shaming women. It's not about shaming women. It's about recognizing what roles someone fits based on their characteristics. So I would be shamed as a fuckboy and rejected for something long term. Okay. So generally, you want a girl to be at least 25 before you can make a good judgment on whether or not because by then she's had a good opportunity to let loose. There might be some very, very rare exceptions, like some girl who was really, really, kept in a cage by her parents or by her, maybe she's in a very religious kind of community, and then she finally gets, to let loose at 30, 35, and then she goes crazy. Okay, right? But on average, 25 and up is a pretty good age to get a sense for, what, this is probably who she's going to be. But not 100%. Not 100%, but it's a pretty good bet. And generally, once a girl's had a chance to have 1 to 2 partners, maybe 3, right? 1, 2, 3-ish, Once you start getting a little bit higher than that, then you start getting into, right? 1, 2, or 3 is perfectly fine. Maybe even 4, right? But it also depends how it was spaced out, right? Was it, I had a boyfriend and then, cheated on him and got another boyfriend, and then I was with him for 5 years, and then I cheated on a different guy, and I was with the next guy for 5 years. It's like, well, she's had a bunch of long-term relationships and no hookups, but she cheated on 2 of them, right? So the details do matter. Were they long-term things or short-term? Were they one-night stands? And if it was a one-night stand, who was it with? Was it a one-night stand with a stranger, or was it with a guy that she knew for a long time, and then they had sex, and then things just didn't progress from there? Well, that's different. She knew him for years. So they had that built up, and then, one night it just kind of came together because, she was out with all her friends, and, one thing led to another. Okay. So 25 and up, then you start to get a good idea of who she's been. Few partners, because if she's had a few partners, she'll get the taste for it. Like I remember a girl in college who I was her second partner. And we did some, first time I fucked her in the ass and came in her ass. Like we just did some, nasty shit. And then she went crazy not crazy in a bad way. She was she was a cool chick. I never got anything weird vibes from her. She was very open, very sweet, a little bit sassy, but not like in an evil way, just like sassy, right? But not like a bitchy way. Sorry, not evil, not bitchy way. And she had 17 partners by that time next year. I think it was maybe a year. Who knows? And I remember asking about her and trying to get to know her. She had a really good relationship with her dad. He was a little bit soft of a guy from what I could tell. But I didn't meet him. I only saw photos, so I'm just judging. I'm usually a pretty good judge of character over photos, but not always. But no, she had a good relationship. It's not like her dad abandoned her. He seemed very nice. Everything seemed fine. So no, like, big red flags. She just liked dick. Like, I don't, I mean, she drank a little bit and partied a little bit, so, that can definitely move the needle. But, there weren't any super big red flags, except for the fact she just liked dick. Some girls just like cock, just like you like pussy, right? But you wouldn't know until she had that time. Because I fucked her good. She was like, holy shit, dick could be really good. So, you don't really know until she's had a few partners. But if you're like super, super, hard, you want a virgin, okay, that's fine, right? But then you got to find a virgin at 25 plus. I don't know. The other parts, like drinking and drugs, I mean, that's pretty, usually for the most part. Like if a girl drinks a lot, that's just bad, right? Parties a lot, that's just bad. I don't know if I can't remember any exception to that. But this video is mostly about the sex, just the sex itself, whether she's a virgin or not, and what age. Because like I said, she can be 19, 20 and be a virgin. Oh, she's a good girl. You don't know. You don't know yet. And even if you keep a woman locked up, right? First of all, it's not moral. Okay. The best kind of seduction is make a woman just want to stay home. I remember one girl who, it was wrong of me. I was fucking her while she had a boyfriend. But I learned something from it. And she kind of told me, she's like, I'm kind of in a gilded cage. Like, my boyfriend really tries to keep a hold on me. And it just makes me want to rebel. And he had a lot of things going for him. Apparently, he had the biggest dick she's ever seen. But here I was fucking her. Right? So he had a lot of things going, or he had one thing going for him at least, and she liked him enough to be with him, but he was kind of like pressuring her to keep her locked up. Now, am I saying the opposite extreme, that you just like let a, you're just open to any girl, do whatever? No. Like, I have certain strict standards. Like, I wouldn't let, if a girlfriend wanted to go, like, I had a girlfriend in Romania, and she wanted to go on a trip to Greece with me and all of her friend group. And they were all going to get, like, a cabin in, I don't know, like just some fucking Airbnb and just drink all weekend. Like, no, I don't want to fucking do that. Why? Because there was a guy in that group who I know really likes her. Because I've been around him and he acts kind of weird around me and her. And I think she's kind of attracted to him too. So yeah, I'm not going to just like put myself in that situation where I have to be on guard. I know I'm going to be on guard because I can see that guy's intentions, and he's treated me strangely and looks at me strangely and always tries to kind of like have little power games. I can smell him from a mile away. No. Why would I put myself in that situation? Zero reason. There's nothing to benefit. So I told her no. She's like, okay, well, can I go? I'm like, yeah, you can go, but I'm going to break up with you. It's fine. And she wanted to go, and then she wanted to go study abroad for like 6 months. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You can go. I'm not going to be with you when you get back. I'm not waiting 6 months for you. I like you, but not that much. I'm not going to be sitting around waiting. No, fuck that shit. And I could get a sense after we started having sex. She really, I could see the way she talked about certain things, and the way she looked at certain things. Like, you could tell she was like, started to see the world, And sex was great. She really loved the sex to me. Even after we broke up, she still came back to get more dick, even after she fucked new guys. And she tried to make me jealous about it, but she really wanted to have sex again. So clearly I was doing something right? But there was just, I don't care how good your game is. I didn't know her full character yet. But actually, there were signs of her character before we got together. But I just wasn't paying attention, right? Because I was under the impression that, oh, she's a virgin. She's a good girl, right? My first ever girlfriend, we lost our virginity to each other. Maybe, I have to go back to the basics and go back to good girls, So, X amount of lays later and experiences. Let me try and get a virgin again. See if that works. No, it's not the solution. I promise you. But yeah, she wanted to go travel abroad. I was like, hey, don't let me hold you back. I told her that. I said, you clearly want to do this. Like, this is your passion, right? You're tired of law school, right? You want to go do this. You want to do fashion. I was like, go do it. I encouraged her. I said, but I'm not going to be here. Okay. And it wasn't some weird manipulation tactic. I was like, no, you should go. I really think you should. And I meant it. You should go do it. But I'm not going to be here. And she decided not to, right? She decided to stay. But I could feel the relationship was kind of taking a turn. And then, it was sometime after we broke up. And she went and had fun, and we stayed in touch, and we hooked up a few times, which was a mistake. Because it did really break her heart when I broke up with her. Because I realized I didn't see anything long-term with her, and I wanted to go wild. And I was honest about it. So I ripped the cord, and it hurt. We stayed in touch, but then eventually she went to follow her dreams. And I think now she lives in the place that she wanted to go travel abroad in. So clearly, I could, there was some passion there. But she wanted to do it. Okay. Broke up, and she went to go do the thing she always wanted to do. Good for her. I hope she's happy. We weren't right for each other. For sure. But point is, don't look at the extremes of like what you think is bad about women, Western values and decadence and hoes and sluts and OnlyFans, and think, okay, I need to get a farm and just live with my super, insert religion wife. Maybe. Only way to know is to test it, right? Don't believe me. Go date a virgin. Give it a shot. You tell me. Doesn't seem to hold up to my testing. You gotta wait for things to cook a little bit longer to see who someone's really gonna be. Give them the opportunity to have been a slut. And again, I'm not disparaging sluts. I'm just saying you don't make someone who's bad with money a CFO of your company. And usually if someone's promiscuous, they're going to continue to be promiscuous. They might turn in a leaf for a certain amount of time, but very rarely does that stay. It just goes dormant and comes back later. So my suggestion for you is if you want to find a good girl, which is much more expansive of an idea than just how many partners she's been with. I totally understand. What's her integrity like? Does she lie? Does she cheat? Does she steal? Does she hurt people? Someone's ethics is a lot more. And of course, there's the idea of compatibility. Does someone actually make a compatible partner? That's completely. You can find someone who is good on paper, but you're a night owl and she's a morning person. You want to travel a bunch and she likes staying home. Okay, it's not gonna fit, even if she's good on paper. So, yeah, but just do not fall for the fallacy that, oh, she's a good girl. She's a virgin. She's untouched by, I don't care where the fuck you go. You can go to some fucking uncontacted tribe that is protected by the government. I'm sure there's sluts in that community, bro. I'm sure Uju Boo Boo is fucking sucking Boo Boo's dick, when Click Clack Paddywhack goes on to hunt fucking what the fuck ever, right? Deep in the Amazon jungle. She's sucking fucking, some other dicks. Paternity fraud. Oh, this all emerged because of social media. Okay. Sure, buddy. You don't know shit. Okay. But there is a lesson, and there's no control over anything. 100%. These are just guesstimations, but they're pretty good bets. Right? Do you take your life savings and you go put it on red at the casino? It could work. Is it the best way to go about it? I don't know. Should I invest in the stock market? Yeah, probably. If you're pretty smart, you find the right people to, manage your money, or if you learn how to manage your money, sure. But it could all go to shit too. I don't know. Right? But you should probably make more educated, sound decisions if you're going to make any decisions, right? So, good girls are not always good girls. I think you understand what I mean now. Alrighty. But if you are looking to find those good girls, the real good girls, so now I'm not being so pedantic, right? Just the better girls. Day game, cold approach, walking up to girls that you see just living their life. Now, sluts aren't vampires. They only come out at night. They're just a Friday night. They go to the clubs to prey on men and okay, and then they transform back into a good girl during the day. No, she's always the same person. She's just going to buy fucking milk from the store, and then on Friday night she's gonna go out and do ketamine. Okay, but if you do go to clubs, guess what you're gonna mostly find? Club girls. If there's blood in the ocean, what are you gonna find around it? Probably something that eats things that have blood. You're gonna find sharks. Okay? So, if you tend to just go out during the day and just talk to random girls, your percentage chance probability, you're statistically more likely to find a girl who is just a cool chick. She got raised by a decent family, went to school, does her job, hangs out with a couple friends, reads books at night, watches movies. She's probably going to make a lot better of a housewife or a long-term girlfriend. if that's what you want. Hey, and don't think that these good girls don't like to suck dick either, right? That good girl who likes to read books, well, she's probably sometimes reading certain kinds of books. Men watch porn, women read erotica, okay, or watch Outlander, So don't believe that they're good girls either. They want to get fucked in the ass, spanked. Trust me, tested it, verified, okay? And they're not bad for doing that. I'm basically just looking to find someone who, probability-wise, isn't going to cause me a lot of trouble. A girl might not cheat, but she might still cause you trouble. She might just cause a lot of jealousy because of her behaviors. But your best bet, day game, just random girls walking around, living their life. Going to get groceries, going to get a coffee, coming back from work, going to get lunch, whatever. Best chance is that. Just randomly approaching girls. Okay? And it's a skill. It's a fucking skill. And I can help ease your learning curve. You're still going to have to work. You're still going to have to put in the hours. Okay? Usually up front, you're going to have to put in a decent amount of hours. I just had a client. You can go watch the video. It's something like, what's it called? Day game is hard at first, but revolutionizes your dating life. Right? That's what it's called. Go watch it. It's a testimonial with a real client of mine, okay? And he, he put in a lot of work. And he's like, I didn't really start to see really good results until a couple months. And then once we finished our coaching, then, a little bit later, then it all kind of started to hit me once it started to really sink in. And you can go see the full interview. You can see, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Not going to say, but you could get results really fast. It depends. If you're coming in with already some decent social skills, because he says he was kind of a beginner. Like he confesses, I was kind of a beginner. So it's going to be a harder of a learning curve. But if you're coming in and you're already kind of, a social guy, you've been with a decent amount of girls, okay, we're going to have a lot easier time. And if you have certain advantages, like you're good looking, or you're tall, or you already have a really good fashion sense, that's going to help. Of course it's going to help. And if you have both, well, then you're really going to fly. Right? But if you don't have any advantages going for you, okay, yeah, it's going to be hard. But what else are you going to do? Jerk off? I don't know. I just had a guy leave a comment the other day on, I made a short on how now is the best time to go out because all these guys are giving up being pussies, not talking to girls. He's like, I'd just rather be happy single. And I called him out. I said, if you were happy single, you wouldn't be leaving a comment like this. You would just be happy. Why are you watching a dating video if you're happy being single? Yeah, you know what? I don't have to deal with a bitchy girlfriend anymore. I just have a dog. Like, what is it? Okay. And why does it have to be a bitchy girlfriend? The fact that you can't find a good girlfriend is a skill issue. It has nothing to do with the girls out there. Western values, my Western society is fucking red pill. It's done far more harm than good. I used to be a fan of it when it first came out because it was actually seduction focused, because I know what the red pill was before what you call the red pill now. What guys call the red pill now is what was called men go their own way. It was called MGTOW, but they kind of merged. But red pill was originally an offshoot of the pickups, the seductions, but they wanted to add in more elements, and I think it was necessary. They wanted to add in that it's not just game. I mean, other things help game. And that's true, but then it went too far, and then they forgot that game was the foundation of it all. So, anyways, I digress. I'm trying to sell you on day game, right? So yeah, don't even listen to me. Go watch the interview, okay? And if you want to put in the work, once you put in the work, then you have a skill set. Then you can reiterate it, and you can talk to girls. You can make it a lifestyle. Then it can be something you just do, occasionally. But you've trained the skill. You know how to do it. You're not going to get anxious to talk to a girl. You're not going to get afraid. You're going to go do it. Okay, perfect. So what I would suggest you start with is first start with my day game course and then my texting book, because you're going to have to text girls after you meet them. A large percentage of your success is going to come from the first impression and meeting her, but the texting can still lose you the girl. Okay. So I have a texting book. It's on Amazon. Get that in the description. And then I have the day game course. The day game course is a bit more expensive than the texting book, but it's pretty good. It's very good. It'll point everything out. Very simple. It's very simple. I didn't complicate the course. Takes you from A to B. Where to meet girls, how to see if they like you or not. Signs that girls give that they're interested. Okay. I hired a model to like show the actual examples, and she did a pretty good job. How to actually do the approach. Again, I made videos, showed how to do it. Right? How to talk, what to say, what to talk about. How to ask her out. A to B. Get you some dates with these actual good girls. But just remember, don't fall for the fallacy of believing that she's a good girl. She's a good girl, but not a good girl. Okay? So, links in the description. Buy my shit. Give me money. I give you wisdom. Fair trade. Okay? Cool. Hector Castillo. Go fuck yourself. Love you.